Today in this video, we will understand and decipher the word capitalism, which is apparently the famous word of so many billionaires.
The capitalism is perfect. We just started with what capitalism would produce in the United States.
What we're going to have is capitalism with some level of taxation.
I believe so powerfully in the ability of entrepreneurial capitalism and free markets.
In this video, we will deep dive and understand how capitalism isn't as noble a concept as when it is preached by the so-called billionaires. This isn't a generic video about some generic topics on the side effects of capitalism, like environmental damage or wastage of products. For that, you have many YouTube documentaries and videos. This video will deep dive into understanding capitalism and understanding how it directly impacts you. The word capitalism comes from the word capital, which means money or assets. Capitalism is just an economic system like socialism and communism. But here, the institutions, industries, and resources are owned by individuals, not by the government, for only one reason: profit. Capitalism is not entirely about hard work, it is about ownership. The more assets and money you own, the more money you will make. There is a very famous quote of Karl Marx, who was a German philosopher and an economist, which said, "Capitalism teaches him to fish, but the fish he catches aren't his. They belong to the person who is paying him to fish. If he is lucky, he might be paid enough for him to buy a few fishes." Which means, capitalism teaches you your work, but you work for somebody else who is paying you. And if you are lucky, you might get paid enough just for your survival. That's why so many people feel that they get paid less from their bosses even though they know more. Capitalism dates back to 16th century, when European traders built wealth through loot and global trade, also known as mercantilism. Then comes the industrial revolutions, when machines become the new workforces and the capitalists become the new king, leaving the workers with 16-hour shifts and child labor. Now, to understand the boons and the banes of capitalism, we must first understand the hierarchy of capitalism. On the top, we have the ultra-rich billionaires and giant corporations like Elon Musk, Mukesh Ambani, Apple, Reliance, etc. They literally have the power to change and manipulate the buying decision of every person on earth. Below them, we have the government and the policymakers who are on the top, not your local MLAs. They provide the laws which favor the rich and also provide tax sanctions to them, even bailing them out in event of a crisis. Then we have the upper business class, entrepreneurs, doctors, lawyers, and people who work on the top positions of the giant corporations. Then we have the middle class, who work for the upper stratas to keep the capitalism running, just to survive and find happiness in small things. Then we have the gig workers, who include your Uber drivers, construction workers. They don't have a fixed income. This group works the most but gets the least amount of return. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have the unemployed class, which is apparently a large part of India. The unemployed sit on the promises of the government and barely survive with the help of the social schemes. They are usually seen as a burden by the people on the top. You must be like, enough of the long intro. Okay, so let's start with considering some factors that you might not consider while you are being sold an idea of a perfect capitalist noble world. One of the biggest disadvantages of capitalism is wealth inequality. This can be explained by the Pareto's principle of Italy, where he said that 20% of the richest Italians holded about 80% of the Italy's land. This number is even extreme in India. To put this in perspective, if India had 100 rupees and 100 people, the top 1% would be holding 40 rupees. The below 50% would only have 6.4 rupees, while the top 10% would be holding 77 rupees, which include the top 1%. That is the extent of wealth inequality in India. One may think that to be in the top 10% of India, one would require to have crores of rupees. Just look at this table from the paper Billionaire Raj, where we have the data of different stratas of income groups and their thresholds and average incomes. You may think to be in the top 10% of India, you will need an annual income of 1 crore rupees. But to your surprise, to be in the top 10% club, you just need a threshold income of 3 lakh rupees per annum or 25,000 rupees per month. From this, we infer that the top 1% had an average income of 53 lakh rupees, which is 23 times higher the annual income of an Indian household, while the average income of the below 50% stood at only 71,000 rupees, which is 0.3 times of the national average. They say hard work pays off. But let's be honest. In India, it pays Adani, Ambani, and Tata's electricity bill, who themselves own the power companies. Just imagine a country where Mukesh Ambani builds a house which is 15,000 crore worth of rupees. Millions, or I would say billions of people still can't afford basic healthcare and education. Forget education. Many families struggle for their basic food. So I often say this to myself. The ability for us to watch a YouTube video or even dream to become a millionaire is considered to be a luxury because we live in a country where forget buying a data pack of 5 and 10 rupees. People can't even afford a Parle-G of 5 rupees. The second disadvantage of capitalism is the creation of monopolies and duopolies.
Google acted illegally to crush its competition and maintain a monopoly.
And it has some aspects of a natural monopoly.
The main idea of capitalism is about equality, fairness, and blah blah blah. The greatest example of a monopoly is Facebook. Facebook owns Meta, Messenger app, Instagram, and WhatsApp. It single handedly controls 75% of the total social media market. It generates an annual revenue of $116 billion, which in Indian rupees would be approximately 9,60,600 crores. Well, I had to read it myself because it was such a big number. With about 4 billion unique users, Meta is a platform for about 50% of the world population. Another great Indian example of a duopoly is Jio and Airtel. They control 75% of the total telecom market in India, which is approximately of 1.15 billion people. From outside, it seems like they are fighting against each other. But in reality, they are like a cartel, basically controlling and manipulating the prices so that their competitors even struggle to survive. This leaves users with almost no alternatives to switch, effectively forcing them to stay within the same ecosystem. Comment down how many times you have felt helpless about a situation where you have no ability to change your data provider. Some other examples of monopolies and duopolies are Alphabet, which has Google, YouTube, Google Maps, Google Drive, Google Photos, and many other apps. In India, Amazon and Flipkart take over local shops. Zepto and Blinkit take over the local kirana shops. Zomato and Swiggy charge the hotel owners a high commission, leaving them with no other alternatives. Have you recently noticed the quality of the products is recently deteriorating while the prices are rising? Well, if yes, then apart from being a wonderful, fantastic observer, you are right. Capitalists have a very sophisticated word for it, known as planned obsolescence. Here, a product's life is deliberately made less for you to buy more. This started with the infamous cartel known as Phoebus Cartel, which included Philips, General Electric, and many other companies. They came together and decided that for the users to buy more bulbs, they will have to sell more. And if the life expectancy of the bulb was more, then they would buy less. So they deliberately reduced the lifespan of a bulb from 2500 hours to 1000 hours. This practice was then followed by many television providers also. Today, phones last for mostly about 2 years and then they magically slow down. Why? Because capitalism isn't about building good quality product. It is about selling more. That's why you will see your phone lagging. Bro, revive me. Only 2 kills are left here and then we will win the tournament. Wait, I'm coming. Bro, where are you? What happened? My system lagged. Or the speaker's not working. after a guaranteed number of software updates. Even clothes, thanks to fast fashion, brands like Zara and H&M are bringing new collection every 2 weeks so that our old clothes look uncool and we buy more. This phenomenon isn't just limited to physical devices. It is now infiltrated as a system inside our daily use apps also through a sophisticated term known as enshittification. It describes the inevitable decline of online services over time. Take Uber for example. After securing a duopoly with Ola, it started hiking prices in the name of search prices, dynamic prices, even pricing more if your battery percentage was down, while giving less commissions to the drivers because it knew the users had no other options but Ola and Uber. In the next video, we will deep dive into how capitalism enables the company to follow all unethical practices, all in the name of profit. Capitalism promised us endless growth potential. But what they forgot to mention was this growth comes at the expense of you burning out. In the past, people worked for 9 to 5 and they had a life. But today, you get work emails at 11 p.m. in the night and weekend team bonding sessions, often disguised as unpaid overtime. Mr. Narayan Murthy says, work 14 hours a day, while Elon Musk promotes 16-hour work culture. Let's compare the stakes. They are building $400 billion empires, while your salary isn't even 12 lakhs, bro. So by the time you finish watching this video, they would have gotten rich by about 20 to 30 crores. You think companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft are building cafes, sleeping pods, gyms, etc. for your welfare. It's not because they care. It's because they want you to live at work. And if you leave, no problem. Because we always have a fresh graduate ready to replace you. Do you think capitalism just rewards hard work? Or it rewards smart ownership? Let's debate in the comment section. If you are an Indian middle class, you know one thing. Getting sick is expensive. You might have seen this scene from the famous movie Three Idiots, where Raju's mom says,
इनकी एक्जिमा की क्रीम भी अब 55 रुपए की आती है.
well, Raju is not at fault here. It's the fucking capitalist system. In a country where medical bills can wipe out your entire savings, healthcare isn't a service, it's a business. Private hospitals charge about 50,000 rupees per night, and some life saving medicines cost as much as an iPhone. Why? Because capitalism doesn't see them as patients, they see them as customers. Or, as Jay Astana says,
I do not love my patients. डॉक्टर के लिए पेशेंट सिर्फ एक बीमार शरीर है और कुछ नहीं.
this is the same story with coaching classes. Private schools have a sophisticated term, donations, which would directly get you entry in their schools. The cost of these donations may be equal to buying a new car. And universities, you know my engineer friends, my college has a fees of 2,21,000 per year for engineering course, while our average placements is only 6,60,000 rupees. That's to ROI of minus 33%. Capitalism turned our basic rights into luxury, while the government is busy banning comedians and other people who make fun of them. Capitalism isn't all bad. It creates competition and rewards innovation. Without capitalism, we wouldn't have Apple's iPhone, Ola, Uber, or Swiggy delivering you Pani Puri in 10 minutes to your house. It allows decentralization, where small players and startups can directly challenge the big players without government controlling any stakes. So now, after hearing both sides, do you still support capitalism? Not because Elon Musk says it's the future, not because it builds the stock market, but because you feel that it directly benefits you. Or do you think capitalism is just a big game where the rules are made by the billionaires while we all are the small players running between the circles? Comment below. Let's see what the real middle class really thinks. Oh, before you go, like the video, comment on the video and subscribe to our channel for more of these videos.